Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss. I'm here with MT Mastertainment, and we are going to do a fun preseason Q&A for the Falcon Winter Soldier. We're taking questions from our listeners on Stereo. If you don't have Stereo, be sure to go to stereo.com/newrockstars and download the free Stereo app, and we will be taking questions. We're currently simulcasting this on the time we recorded our first episode of this. So let's go ahead and take a question here.
The bevels on ZEMO'S mask look like Daddy Than's chin. Like that could easily just be like a little way for Zemo to remind the Avengers of how they lost. And like maybe he lost more like before he lost his family, but then like, you know, everything snapped and he lost like 5 years of his life and he got even more pissed off with that for some reason.
I didn't even think about that. I thought you were joking at first. That's actually a really cool theory. I'm sorry.
You want to repeat that? Because I was so focused on Daddy Fan that I completely just didn't listen to the rest.
That you call him Daddy Fan. You get points for that right off the bat.
Amazing.
Right away.
Well done.
But what an interesting tactic, right? An intimidation tactic. I'm now talking like more realistic. David, what a wonderful tactic. The idea of recognizing that the world is traumatized by this purple eternal deviant that came from another world to devastate the universe, and now using that color purple as like almost a tribal fear tactic. Brilliant, if that was intentional. I don't know if the bevels, the ridges, because the ridges are so specific. I don't know if the world, when they see all ridges and things, are like triggered by Thanos, you know. But just the idea
I have ridgeophobia. I can't do ridges.
Ribophobia. In tandem, though, of specifically a purple mask with these ridges of just like the world feared a purple skin villain. I'm going to give him that color now. I could totally see Zemo going by that rationale. I think that's really cool.
I really love that. I really love that theory. I think it'd be really cool to see Zemo like influenced by Thanos in a way and just be like, all right, he broke the Avengers sort of. And I like doing that. So let me wear his face because that's my hero, Thanos, the man. But yeah, that's a really good theory. I really like that one. Really
I do too.
Daddy Than. That's going to be in my brain for the rest of my life. That's literally going to be part of my vocabulary.
Daddy Than.
Hey, you did it, Erik. I like it. All right.
Do you guys think that Zemo is going to team up with Falcon and Winter Soldier to take down any other super soldiers?
That is a fantastic question.
Ooh, that is a good question. What do you think about that, MT?
I mean, possibly. I mean, I think that Zemo is one to use people as tools and stuff. So like... Mm-hmm. You know, it is possible. We have those super soldiers that were in those tanks in Civil War that Zemo killed. But there could be others potentially. I mean, like that could just be one site.
Yeah, absolutely. Based off of what we've seen in the trailers, it seems like he has a group of differently dressed henchmen, at least in that the scene, the footage where he's like blowing up something in a shipping yard. And it's like, you don't have differently dressed henchmen if it's not like a group of super soldiers. So that's why I'm thinking we could be seeing some kind of Thunderbolts-esque plot. I'm not saying we're going to see the Thunderbolts in the Falcon Winter Soldier, but something inspired by that. What is Zemo's plan? I think his plan is to rid the world of super heroes, but in order to do that, he needs to kind of assemble his own pseudo Avengers team. I think that's what he discovered was his mistake, is he was working alone in Civil War. And he's like, okay, well, if I want to continue this mission, what do I need? I need my own team. And that's what the Avengers had that I didn't. And he maybe made the mistake of plugging all of those Winter Soldiers when he's like, maybe I could have used them a little bit. He was
maybe
too
I should have
confident.
murdered these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have just left them in the fridge for a little bit more in case I needed them. Who knows? But yeah, no, he definitely iced those guys too fast. So maybe there's more. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's why I think when we watch this this trailer that we reacted to of you know, there are wizards, there are androids, there are aliens, they're facing some other kind of superpowered threat going forward. And we don't know exactly what that is. Why does he need to categorize them? If it's just the Flag Smashers don't appear to have any supernatural powers unless they do. And in which case, where did they get those powers? How did they get those powers? Is it technological based? Is it sorcery based? Are they aliens? I'm guessing not aliens. Or maybe they are, but we have plenty of scroll sightings already. I don't need more aliens right now. Or is it a fourth category? Is it mutants? And that's what we're starting to see rise in the MCU. Is ZEMO'S identifying, damn, now there are even more superheroes around the world. I need to get to the point to where society views all of them as a threat. So I'm going to turn them into these villainous kind of figures. I'm going to take out the remaining Avengers that are left. And I'm gonna make all superheroes into pariahs. That's my plan.
Wanda's really helping him out with making heroes look really bad. So thanks, Wanda.
Thanks, Wanda.
But no, seriously, that could easily be a thing in terms of all that.
But before we continue, losing your hair can be a bummer. Life is hard enough waiting for that ever elusive first Eternals trailer without also having to worry about hair loss. 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35, and I know a lot of guys in my life that are super stressed out about it. But with Keeps, it is easier and more affordable to get treatment for your hair loss and help you keep the hair that you have. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there, but at half the cost of your local pharmacy. You used to have to go to a doctor's office for this kind of treatment, but with Keeps, you can do it all from home. You meet a doctor online and they ship the treatment right to you every 3 months, so you don't have to wait in line at the pharmacy. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. If you're noticing that you're losing your hair, do something about it. For a limited time, go to keeps.com/newrockstars or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order.
Should we take another question?
Yeah, go ahead if you want to hit the next question there.
Hey, Eric. Hey, MT. These flag smashers, these people that are just trying to bring John Lennon's Imagine to reality, do you think they could be enhanced with some sort of super soldier serum? Possibly the red vials that we saw in the Black Widow trailer?
Ooh, that's an interesting theory. I love that idea.
That is a very good point.
Yeah, that's a whole other alternate angle of this. Rather than being mutants, maybe there's a limited number of these people and they have those red vials is kind of the mystery, right? Black Widow has been delayed so much. I keep forgetting those loose end theory threads that I was so excited to see resolved, May 2020. Yeah, but those red vials, I've speculated those could be Pym particles, probably not Pym particles. I'm willing to admit that. But yeah, there's something, right? And they're tied to the Red Room, and the Red Room has this kind of mind control brainwashing that they do to kind of turn them into soldiers. As far as we know, Black Widow assassins don't have super powered abilities, but Natasha Romanoff is a badass. She's a great fighter, but it doesn't seem like she has strength. She just kind of has more agility than the average human fighter does. So I would be very surprised if it was super soldier serum because, but we do have Red Guardian. Red Guardian was enhanced with some other kind of cocktail. So maybe that's what enhanced Red Guardian, but not necessarily the Red Room. That could be an interesting crossover from Black Widow. For sure. But it would mean that all these people that would have to leak somewhere beyond the limits of Soviet Russia, unless all those people were in the prison with Red Guardian. That's what they were doing there.
I mean, I definitely think that the super soldier serum attempt will be probably made in this show. Because that's a huge part of the Captain America mythos. And, in the comics, everyone's trying to recreate this formula. I mean, what was his name? Erskine, Dr. Erskine?
Dr. Erskine. Right. Yeah.
Erskine, in the first Avenger, he perfected that formula and no one has been able to do it. So maybe these flag smashers have a variation of that formula, but isn't perfect. So maybe it's making them be extra radical and extra violent and because the formula isn't perfected. So I definitely feel I don't know about the Black Widow piece specifically because anything could have been in those vials. But I definitely think that a super soldier serum of sorts. Wow, that was alliteration. A super soldier serum of sorts could be in play. Wow.
I do love that theory a lot. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Hopefully something comes out of that. MT, let's take another question from Stereo.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, I was wondering what your thoughts were of Wolverine popping up as Patch in the show. I personally don't think so, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, keep up with the great work. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love you too, sir. I'm a big fan of your accent. It's very nice. I wish I had that accent.
Very nice.
I just have this.
Yeah. I think Wolverine, it might be too soon to see like a like Patch Logan show up. Just because I think Kevin Feige's mutant plan, he's gonna want to go a restoration approach of like, this is how mutants should be unfolded in a cinematic universe. And he's gonna make some bold casting changes. Maybe swap some, like this character's male, now they're gonna be female. This character was originally this, that was a little problematic, so we're gonna change this to make it more appealing to audiences. You might see some of that, but other than that, I feel like it's gonna be classic because it already works. Overall, like starting Magneto in Auschwitz is such an amazing character origin. Don't change that, please. So if they're going to do that at first, we might see Patch Logan at some point in the future. I just think it might be a little too soon and might be a little too confusing to audiences who don't know the comics as well. And once we see Wolverine, I think it's going to be a fairly classic approach to the Logan mythology in the MCU, and it might be a little too soon to have a character with the dog tags, or in this case with an eye patch version of him. Maybe just a little too soon for me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I honestly think that in terms of mutants and coming into the MCU, I have this weird feeling that Kevin Feige might want to wait until a theater-based film that everyone can see, like regardless of whether or not you have Disney Plus, because Disney Plus is like, you could have it, you could not have it. So like,
it's not in every country.
Exactly. So like, I think when mutants come, it's going to be like everyone knows at the same exact time that mutants are here. So I think that any mutant or Wolverine type stuff is going to happen after that the whole world is on the same page that mutants are here. So I don't think that they'll be showing up in this series.
Yeah. Let's take another question.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Erik, call your shot right now. What theory are you going to beat the drum for weeks and weeks and weeks, only for it not to come true for Falcon Winter Soldier? What is the Falcon Winter Soldier equivalent of Mephisto?
Booyah, that sounds like off-screen producer Zach Huddleston a little bit. So in the longer version of this that came out on Friday, I think MT and I decided that we will be on the Zola train for now until it was proven wrong. But we want Zola in the show. Give us Zola. If you don't give us Zola, we'll be okay. Zola. We will be looking for clues. We're going to be looking on every background screen in this show. If it looks a little green, it was red in WandaVision, it's going to be the color green in this show. Be like, I saw some green matrixy code on that, and that looked like the face of Toby Jones on that scrreen.
It's like, I saw Zola in the grass. I saw him in the grass. That grass was suspiciously green. Wow. Thank you for your question, Zach.
Join us on the Zola train world. It's so comfy on the Zola train.
We will be one with Zola.
We have nice Swiss chocolate on the train. It's so great. You all get swatches.
Amazing swatches.
Amazing.
All right. New question.
If someone wants to get started by reading some of the Marvel comics for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what are at least like 3 or 5 you suggest to get prepared for the series?
I mean, obviously, when Falcon takes over the role as Captain America, those Falcon Cap comics, amazing. First of all, you should definitely read them. They definitely they touch on Isaiah Bradley, I believe. They should. And
I mean the whole early 2000s Ultimates Winter Soldier series, when they brought back Bucky, I mean, it really inspired the Winter Soldier arc in the Winter Soldier movie. But there is so much truth to the character and his history that I think everyone should read and everyone should know. I can't recommend that enough. It was so great. The way they brought back Bucky was crazy. I mean, the Thunderbolts is pretty great just to get a sense of Zemo and what Zemo's operation will be when they bring back that whole arc of his whole Thunderbolts arc. When was that? That was 90s, right? I don't know the year on that one.
Thunderbolts? I think that might be 2000s.
Yeah, WandaVision, we had a sense of read House of M, because there was there's only so many Scarlet Witch comics that have actually really been great. They've made appearances over the years, but like we had a sense of WandaVision, we had a sense of West Coast Avengers from '89, we got a sense of what are some other ones that they talked about? The Tom King Vision, but like. And then at the end, you just hear Jack Schaefer in an interview saying, I don't really get comics. I think they look pretty, so I use some of the visuals, but they didn't really inspire me that much. And then it's like, well, you know, okay, understand your audience maybe a little bit. You're a great writer. You made something great, but clearly these writers are taken from other influences. That's what say someone like Malcolm Spellman, he definitely grew up with the comics. But like, I think he's going to be inspired by other themes and other issues than just staying faithful and true to a specific comic run. That part is the reason it's so exciting to watch this, because we don't really have a specific roadmap of this is what the plot story beats are going to be.
Yeah, completely. Like it's the unexpected. Like we shouldn't know what's going to happen. Like I don't want to read like, you know, past Falcon stuff, past Bucky stuff, past Zemo stuff and be like, this is a lot like what's already been done. Like just show me something new, something fresh. And like Kevin Feige in the MCU they have a track record of just showing us things that we didn't know that we wanted. So yeah. I definitely agree. So it is harder for this series to find a specific run, because Captain America's been around and like all those characters have been around for forever.
For a while.
So like, you know, so like I personally would recommend, you know, that when Sam gets the shield, like that initial run when he used Captain America is just a really fun run. And I'm sure that they'll obviously be taking a lot of inspiration for the series.
Yeah. Let's take another question.
Do you think the John Walker Captain America government picked guy is going to have a new vibranium shield, or do you think it's going to be maybe a shield made of some other substance, or what do you think?
I think the shield at the end of Endgame is going to go to him, and he's not going to know how to use it properly. He's just going to use it as a prop. And then the whole time everyone's going to have shield envy, and part of this mission is like getting that shield away from him. Because he's doing bad things with it. I don't think we're going to have multiple shields, unless he's just having a prop shield for like publicity events, and then there's another shield. But I think he's going to go on missions. He's going to do stuff, and he's probably going to kill people, and people are going to be like, holy shit. Like, he kills like people in ways that he doesn't need to. Like, stop, he's already dead, John. I think that's the shield. I think he's going to get Cap's shield from the end of Endgame. And it's considered government property. It belongs in a museum, and it's going to be taken and given to him. And Sam's going to be like, ugh, fine. I mean, I'm Falcon, but that guy doesn't deserve the shield. And that's going to be kind of the part of the problem here.
No, I completely agree. I mean, the whole show is about the legacy of Captain America and the legacy of the shield. And so having multiple shields would kind of just like be kind of a shield distraction of sorts. So I definitely think that you're right on the money. It's just like one shield. Everyone's struggling for the shield. Sam wants a shield. Walker wants a shield. Bucky might be a little bit jealous that he doesn't have the shield, but like, that's okay. But yeah, I think it's just gonna be a one shield type deal. And, Walker won't have it for long. I mean, he'll have it for a little bit, I feel, but like then Sam will yoink it back because that's his shield.
Yeah.
All right. Good question. I really like that question.
We have time for a few more questions, so let's just take another one.
What do you guys want to happen? Not like what you guys think is going to happen in the series. What do you guys want to happen the most?
That is a really great question. I personally, and this is something I've been actively thinking about, I want Sam to have his bird powers. I want him to be able to talk to birds. Or specifically I want Redwing, the real bird. I think that'd just be really, really cool for him to have Redwing. You know, with, I don't know, like if people do have powers, or people are starting to get powers, or people are experimenting with giving people powers potentially, maybe we could have some weird bird stuff with Sam. But who knows? How about you, Erik? What do you want?
Oh, sky's the limit. Okay, here's my wish list for the Falcon Winter Soldier. I want Isaiah Bradley to come up in this, and I want the whole history of Black Captain America. I want him and his descendants to get the shield, so I want the shield to eventually go to Elijah Bradley, Patriot, and that's who I want to have the shield at the end of the series. I want Bucky to continue to be the Winter Soldier. I want Falcon to continue to be Falcon, and we just love Falcon for that. But like the spiritual legacy of who Cap was to the MCU is Falcon, essentially. I want old Cap to die, but I want young Chris Evans to show up from an alternate timeline to kind of give us some answers. And I want an implication that he was friends with Wolverine in that alternate timeline, and that Bucky got to carry the shield in that history. I want them to go to Madripoor and go to a bar and see Logan was here carved into the bar, and a ninja to do a backflip in the background, a hand ninja to do a backflip in the background, and then the Mandarin to kind of show up with a limousine lowered and the Mandarin's face behind it. Tony Leung from Shang-Chi. What else can I do? Okay, I want the implication of other mutants to start to exist in this world, and people are confused by what that is, but then we start to get some speculation that, maybe the return of the blip and something related to that started to awaken an evolutionary step, and people who had this mutant gene for generations now starting to arise, and then just a hint towards the Eternals that maybe the Celestials gave certain members of humankind an X gene, and that's why, and we haven't needed it until now. And I want a battle with an android version of Zola at some point. That's my wish list. I want all those things.
You know what? I changed my answer to that last one. I want Robo Zola so badly. It'd be so funny, funny looking, but I know Kevin Feige could pull it off to make it look cool. So no, yes, Robo Zola only Robo Zola. Really. All right, let's do it.
My first question is, have you guys seen any pre-screenings of the show?
Not as of yet. We got a little lucky with WandaVision in that we knew a guy who knew Disney publicity, who was able to get us those, I think it's the first 3 episodes we were able to watch, so we were able to get them ahead of time, do some breakdowns ahead of time, get that written. Honestly, we don't release stuff, and we don't leak anything until after everyone can see it. So really it just changes how fast I have to work on Friday morning to do stuff. But we'll see. We're hoping, we're going to reach out to people. Maybe we can get, I don't think they'd give us any more than 1 episode since there's only going to be 6 of them. So we might see the first episode, but that will only mean that, the breakdown comes out a little bit earlier on Friday or Saturday than it would have otherwise. But that's it. As of this taping, no, we haven't seen anything in advance.
But that'd be cool.
Yeah.
What if Zemo sent Hayward to SWORD to get information on AI and cybernetics to start a Sentinel program to fight against the supers?
I like how you're thinking, my friend.
I love that because
I like
no one trusts Hayward. Hayward, I'm very upset that I'm not very upset. I'm okay with it that Hayward was just some guy, some jerk guy who deserved to get hit by a van.
A nice or a funnel cake truck.
Because I've always contended since the beginning, as soon as I saw Hayward, I was like, that man, there's something weird about that man. And I did this weird thing where I just started looking up anagrams of his name because I was like, you can't spell Hayward without Hydra. Hydra is in Hayward's last name. So I was like, you know what? What if his name is something Hydra? I spent many hours on that. Nothing happened with that. I wasted my time. I should have been talking to girls instead, but I was not. Girls don't talk to me. A lot of things were just said. Anyway, yes, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if Zemo would have sent Hayward, because Hayward was, before all this, was just an agent of SWORD. He was just a company man. I don't think he would be like, okay, I'll listen to you, accused international terrorist Zemo. But they could have been part of the same plot. They could have been drinking from the same Kool-Aid. The idea of it being to build a Sentinels program, I love the idea of Sentinels because it seems thematically kind of what Hayward was doing, right? He's trying to build his own sentient weapons, and that is kind of what the Sentinels are. That does seem kind of what Project Cataract was all about. I just think, again, it's going to be a little too soon. I don't think Sentinels would be our way into mutants in the MCU. I could be totally wrong about that. I think Sentinels is kind of something that's part of the world of the X-Men and the mutants. And I think what's the most exciting way to introduce mutants in the MCU? Probably through the eyes of one of those characters. And that's why I think, it's going to be one person, or it's going to be the history of their genetic history to imply that they were around us the whole time. I think it's kind of exciting. But to say the thing that was used to kill the mutants is going to be the way we learn about the existence of mutants in the MCU. It just feels like kind of 4 steps removed. Just start with that first step would be my approach personally.
One last question, and it is from Rainbow Warrior.
So, do you think that the reason the government is giving the title of Captain America to John Walker is because Sam Wilson did not sign the Sokovia Accords?
Yes, that's going to be the reason they say, but the real reason's racism, I think, right?
It's most likely racism. It's just like, you were on the run. You have a criminal past, sir. We can't sell that. Give us that shield.
The fact that they would still be mad about the Sokovia Accords after Endgame, it's like, dudes, the Avengers helped save this planet. Everyone who's on that battlefield deserves a Medal of Honor, and they deserve to have whatever criminal record they had wiped clean. So if the Sokovia Accords still matter in a post-Endgame world, then that's going to tell you something about their real motives. It would mean that, Sam Wilson doesn't meet up the proper criteria for who they want Captain America to be to the American public. So I think race would be a pretty big motivator. And if Malcolm Spellman is writing this series, I would imagine he would have something to say about it.
I mean, if Bucky's walking around free and like there's nothing, like he's just like, all right, Bucky's just like walking amongst the people, and like and Sam can't get the shield, that's some shenanigans. That's not cool.
Well, Bucky would probably be, I mean, they might say, well, we also would deny it to Bucky. But it's like, well, Cap himself gave me this shield. Like I was his chosen successor. We'll see how they end up playing it. I would imagine Sokovia Accords is going to be the reason they give. Just because the Endgame screenwriter said, the Sokovia Accords still matter when they did an Endgame watch along. So I think they're going to claim it's important. There's going to be a lot of interesting subjects that are brought up on this show. I'm very excited to see that kind of approach that they take.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. I think they are going to use that excuse, and it's probably just going to be just like, all right, you just don't have the right skin color. I'm sorry, buddy. You don't look like Steve. They look like Steve Urkel. Wow, that was really bad.
On your left.
Anyway.
Did I do that? Well, so that is a wrap for this Q&A. Thank you so much to everyone sticking with us on Stereo. MT and I are going to be reacting to every episode of The Falcon Winter Soldier every Friday. And we're going to try to do some Q&As with you guys as well, just to answer all the questions you have about this show. But we did this on Stereo. Thanks again to all of our Stereo listeners. You can download Stereo by going to stereo.com/newrockstars, and you'll subscribe to us as well. You'll be able to see when all of our weekly, or not weekly, we do them pretty much every day of the week. When all the shows go live, you'll be there for it, and you'll be able to send us your questions. We'll respond to you in real time. It's very exciting. But be sure to follow MT at Mastertainment and follow me at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to Inside Marvel wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for watching. It's the watching. Yeah. I'm an idiot. But thank you all, and we'll see you next time. As always, we're on your left.